typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
Welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show today. If I don't sound like your regular hosts, you would be correct. Brandon is out ill, and my name is Jason Avery, and I am filling in for him. So here at the Consumer Quarterback Show, it's all about cutting through the mainstream media and giving you real facts and real advice from real successful entrepreneurs in this area. Here we are all about our veterans, and so we take a moment to tip our hats for those who have served for us, those first responders.
Yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
We're going to have a fun show today. We are going to have a guest here in studio, Frank Miranda from Frank Charles Miranda, PA. Later in the show, we'll have a call in from Bruce Woodburn with Cross Country Mortgage. We always like to feature a couple of our hot listings out there. And so we have a property available from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. It is 8107 Sierra Manor. This is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 2-story. It's over 3,600 square feet, and it's on over an acre. The kitchen's been updated. It's a beautiful kitchen in there. Energy-efficient home, spray foam insulation, and a whole house generator. It's got a walk-in closet. There's a smart home system here, HVAC. I mean, the list goes on. This is a great listing for sale. The pictures are absolutely stunning. Definitely check out the website and the video to see what this looks like, but hot listing that you might want to take a look at. We've got also a listing at 4675. This is Chancellor, 4675 Chancellor Circle in St. Pete. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's 2,160 square feet on a small lot. It's updated with a brand new roof, vinyl fence, and new downstairs AC. Newly installed luxury vinyl tile flooring, plush carpet. It's got spacious living areas, soaring vaulted ceilings. The kitchen has stone countertops, stainless steel appliances, plenty of cabinet space in this place. Again, bonus room, half bath. The list goes on. Actually, a beautiful, beautiful home. Nice listing. Definitely check it out on our site. As always, we are trying to set people up with the best buys in town.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
So we have our guest in studio today, Frank Miranda. This guy is I don't want to use foul language on the radio. He's a kick-butt attorney with Frank Charles Miranda, PA. I've learned a lot about this guy. He does real estate transactions. They do some litigation. He's involved in personal injury. Frank, what are people suing each other over these days? What's going on? The hurricanes affecting things, or what are you working on?
Jason, first of all, I want to say you are a pro. I mean, you stepped in these shoes, and I don't know if there's been any setback or not from our traditional host, but I'll tell you right now, you stepped on the saddle, you got in the starting line, and you went.
Thank you, sir.
So hats off to you, because I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. I'll tell you this: 2024 was very litigious. Our litigation team has been very full. I think last year I had probably 4 trials actually go to trial. On my desk right now, I'm teed up to start a trial Monday. That has to deal with an incident in a personal injury arena. But there's also a lot of litigation going on with small businesses and owners suing each other, minority shareholders suing another shareholder, maybe equal shareholders. But I can say, too, that there's a lot of litigation involving escrow deposits and contracts. Either, for some reason or the other, the contract doesn't close. There could be 10, 15, 20. Last year, I think I settled one that was over a dispute of $400,000 deposit on a commercial transaction. And so what I have seen probably in the last 3 to 4 years is a substantial increase. And when deals go bad, there's litigation. And that's part of the reason why we try and inform the consumer out there that when you're dealing with such a valuable asset, right, real property, whether it's residential or commercial, it makes sense to have a lawyer do the whole deal for you in the closing arena. Because when things do go bad, and they're increasingly going bad, that you have a legitimate reason why you're acting a certain way, and more importantly, you have a legitimate reason to get that money back on that escrow. And so that's the difference between a title company and what we do.
Okay. Well, I'm in the remodeling space, so of course I'm face to face with a lot of these homes.
You're in a lot of stuff, I heard.
I do wear a few hats, sir. But at Avery Construction, we're faced with a lot of these flood damaged homes, and some of them are just not able to be repaired. There's restrictions and holdbacks from FEMA that prevent putting them back together over and over again under federal insurance money. So I imagine this is going to stem into a lot of short sale stuff. As people maybe don't want to bite the bullet to knock it down and build a whole new house, and then maybe mortgages are going to start to default. People got to live somewhere else. Their expenses. Do you see the same thing I'm seeing coming? Is there going to be a bunch of either foreclosure defense going on, a bunch of short sale negotiation going on soon?
I'll be honest, man. That's a really good point you just brought up. And so I was talking to, and this is a hot topic, and what I mean by that is people call me up or people that are going through the process now where their house was damaged because of the storms, and they're telling me stories about their neighbors and what's happening, what's not happening, and it's not consistent. So let's take Dana Shores area for a moment. Okay, Dana Shores is an area in Tampa. It's mostly has canals, a lot of houses on the water, a lot of houses got damaged. So House A gets full coverage, right? $250,000 typically from FEMA. They get the check. House B and C, same kind of damage. They're having a hard time getting anything. So when you look at it from a objective perspective, it doesn't make any sense. And so what happens is, if you're house owner B and C and your house has damages, no dispute about that. No dispute it had to be remediated. Right? There's no dispute that mold's going to grow and, it's got to be fixed. No dispute you paid your policy. Why are we being treated like we didn't have insurance? I don't know the answer to that question, but certainly what needs to be done if that's happening is you got to file a lawsuit. And I've been referring people out. I don't do that work myself, but I refer people out that do that work. The sad part about that is this. Our governor passed legislation and allowed things to occur where back in the day, if you sued your insurance company and they were wrong, you got to reimburse your attorney. Well, all those provisions were taken out of the policy. Mm-hmm. So now the average person can't afford to pay a lawyer an hourly fee to defend themselves because they, typically what would happen is the lawyer would just get reimbursed at the end of the day when they beat the insurance company, because in these scenarios, the insurance company's 100% wrong.
I've been around this space offering expert witness to attorneys that are in the situation, and I've seen what the big difference it's created in your world. Because if
so
you got $1 more,
the
you get all the
consumer
fees.
gets screwed now, though, because now an attorney can only take that case against the insurance company on a contingency fee basis, which means wherever they recover, they're going to take a percentage of.
Yep.
That's the only way they get paid. Which means that if you're hypothetically, your damages are $100,000 and he gets $100,000 for you. Back in the day, the consumer gets all the $100,000 and the attorney's fees get paid in addition to that by the insurance company because they acted wrong. That's effectively it. You're getting punished for not doing the right thing.
But in this case, if the attorney normally gets 25% fees, the client would only get 75%.
Right. And now you don't have the money to finish the job.
Exactly.
And so the consumer completely got hosed. There's rumors out there that occurred because the insurance companies made a deal with the governor that if you run for president, we're going to raise you $50 million. If that rumor is true, then there's usually a quid pro quo as to why I'm raising all this money.
I see both sides of it in that I see where the public adjusters, they really kind of changed the industry too, because these guys got out there going door to door, pretty much anytime there's a storm in a neighborhood, they're hitting up every neighbor down the street and saying, hey, if you remember this storm on this date, I can get you a free roof. Then they go up on the roof and tear off a couple shingles. And then I think they kind of destroyed the industry to the point where it used to be either the insurance is taking care of things appropriately, and if they're not, you get involved and you fix the situation. But now I feel like almost everybody was.
Why don't the insurance companies, and they're really smart people there, right? They're really smart people that work in insurance companies. They can figure out how much fraud there's going to be. They're going to figure out their profits before the year even starts. They're really smart people, okay? But if you're so concerned about PIP, stop offering it. But you know why they don't stop offering it? They're making a ton of money off of it. Okay, and so if there was legislation up there in Tallahassee to get rid of it and just have everyone have BI, right? So if it's someone else's fault, their insurance is going to pay for it. Well, why didn't the insurance company back that legislation if all this fraud's going on? And the answer is because they're making a ton of money off of it.
Wow. Interesting, the insights that you get, from the experts that come on this show. A couple things that I've seen also is, there's been issues where I met the insurance field adjuster out at a property, and they're trying to divide clear lines. Anything from the bottom up was the flood claim from the first hurricane. Anything from the top down is going to be the responsibility of the wind claim on the second hurricane. And, it kind of made sense that first time I heard it, who covers what and their different policies. But then I went to a home the other day where, yes, the flood flooded the bottom. And then, yes, the wind blew out windows and sliding glass doors, which also allowed it to rain in from the top down all the way down to the bottom. And so, who bears the responsibility there? And does the consumer get whacked with, they're getting multiple deductibles on things if it wasn't dried out fast enough? Is there now a mold claim? Is that another deductible, another section of the policy? It seems like a big mess to me.
It's a disaster. And in that scenario, they have a right to file multiple claims. And if they have to file multiple claims, and if there are multiple deductibles, you would think it should be fair that in some time of event, right? It's back-to-back events. Even if you pay those deductibles, do the right thing, because I don't necessarily think you have to be an expert to walk in a house that's on Hillsborough River that had 4 feet of water in it and go, this thing was fully furnished, and you have $250,000 max of flood policy. It's worth $250,000. Here's your check. It doesn't take rocket science, because everything that water touch, it's polluted water. Mm-hmm. No one's going to drink the water out of the Hillsborough River, okay? It's disgusting. And so everything that water touches has to be ripped out. Here's your $250,000. Thanks. It doesn't take this long. So it's, and it's sad, but when you're an insurance company and your job is to pay, you realize that your profits get shorter when you pay so much out. But you also realize on the back end, they're never going to go broke, because all those insurance companies are reinsured several times thereafter worldwide. So one company's not taking the hit on this.
So, and learn the FEMA regulations that come up on these jobs, the limitations to how much you can improve or repair the structure, that all ties back to the insurance too. That's the county paying for insurance from the federal government to, have things put back together in an event like this. And so if they don't enforce these strict rules and the bureaucracy of submitting, then ultimately, it's they'll lose their insurance. So that's the way it's explained to us at the building department level. We got about one more minute, and we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back to more of you, Frank.
Let me tell you something real quick. If the insurance companies thought there was so much fraud going on with people doing roofing, it's real simple. The people that are knocking in those companies, put an exclusion in the policy. These people are not covered. Okay, so if you want to stop it, you can stop it overnight. So why don't they?
So there'll be more with Frank here in studio. We'll also have Bruce Woodburn from Cross Country Mortgage calling in later. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with the Platinum MVP Realty team. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer and they won't close. So this is Brandon BRimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon BRimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by the Platinum MVP Real Estate Team. Your regular host, Brandon BRimes, is out and not well today, so we wish him a speedy recovery. My name is Jason Avery, and I'm here filling in. I'm also joined by Frank Miranda in studio with Frank Charles Miranda, PA, and we'll be getting a call in here later in the show from Bruce Woodburn at Cross Country Mortgage. Of course, Consumer Quarterback Show is all about cutting through the mainstream media and giving you real and honest advice from real people engaged in this community. Of course, the Platinum MVP team does like to feature a couple of their hot real estate listings, and I have one here for you. It's located at 2533 Dolly Bay Drive. That's, again, 2533 Dolly Bay Drive, Unit 101 in Palm Harbor. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,870 square feet. And that's a good size for a condo. First floor corner unit in the waterfront community of Dolly Bay. It's situated closest to a heated pool, clubhouse, and boat docks. The community has direct access to water. It welcomes kayaks, paddleboards, and fishing gear. Some of the upgrades included the brand new roof throughout the community. It's only 10 minutes from Innisbrook Golf Course, an amazing, amazing golf course there at Innisbrook. Resort-style amenities. It's got a clubhouse. There's the HOA includes the water, sewer, trash, exterior maintenance, pest control, and much more. And it's only 30 minutes from Tampa International Airport. Definitely you want to check out these pictures. It's got an awesome little deck walking along the edge of the nature. Absolutely beautiful place to see a sunset. So, again, check it out, 2533 Dolly Bay Drive, Unit 101 in Palm Harbor. I'm back again with Frank Miranda, Frank Charles Miranda, PA, and we've been discussing some of the pitfalls and hazards in real estate and litigation as they cross. Frank, you're doing a lot in personal injury, too. You know, what's the most common injuries out there right now?
Well, I mean, the common injury, and thankfully, is probably a lower, sustained injury. The bad part is, and I've had this happen several times, is when there's significant injuries or even death, and the at-fault party doesn't have insurance, or there's not enough insurance, and it's a clear-cut situation where it's a wrong in that, someone's loved one's not coming home today as a result of an accident, or someone's texting and they run a red light or what have you. That's a really awful situation to deal with. It leaves a family devastated.
Wow. Pulling from Brandon's feel-good stories, and he always wants us to come back and tell me something good. This was just thrown across my desk, and a 7-year-old boy had actually survived nearly a week, lost in the savannah in Zimbabwe. We're talking about a lion-infested game park, and he returned home to his rural village on New Year's Eve. He avoided the lions all by himself. It was clever to stave off the dehydration. For food, he ate berries. and he was rescued and returned home to his family. That's a pretty good feel-good story. Thanks for throwing that at me, producer Dave. You haven't contributed yet in the show today.
Yeah, well, I think the mic is...
Oh, his mic is not hot. We're not going to allow him to contribute, and that might have been by design. So
I think Dave said his friends now call him Tarzan.
Basically, Frank, the cat is away so the mice can play. We've got the studio to ourselves, and it's Brandon's show. What else do you think we should be telling the community out there today?
So, we talked about, and it's the hot topic now because it's happened to so many people in this area. You have the you have the government, local government saying if your house has been damaged more than 50%, they're going to make you tear it down and build it to code. Well, what about this scenario? You have no mortgage. You have no flood insurance. You're not asking anybody for any money. What if you don't want to build it to code? It's your property. So to me, government can't come in there and say, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Why? I'm not asking anybody for any additional benefits. It's my property. If I want to build it as a ranch-style home on grade, why can't I?
So I completely agree with your sentiment, and I'm actually on a committee for Pinellas County Development as they're trying to encourage more development. They have independent consultants working with all the chief building officials, and I get to talk to them all about once a month. And I said exactly the same thing.
I think it's unconstitutional.
As you. I said that what they should do is propose an opt-out system. If you want to be able to do whatever you want to your property, you're opting out of the FEMA insurance coverage, should the flood come. Because that's their premise on why they do this is that, how many times is the flood supposed to wipe this house out and allow it to be put back together before, with the government paying for it. So they make it strict, thinking that one at a time, the old homes of the 40s and 50s will get knocked down, newer, more modern, more compliant structures will get built. And I see how that works for the county on a one-by-one basis in normal times. But when you have, 20,000, 40,000 homes in the Bay Area that are all in the same boat at the same time, it's really challenging now. And what really became more challenging is the different interpretations by municipalities. This neighborhood says that there's no look-back period. The county says it's a 12-month look-back. This neighborhood says 3 years. This says 5. That one says 7. That one says 10. I might have to wait 10 years. If I pulled a permit for a roof or windows in the last 5, I might be, my value is less than the half of the value. So that's been a big challenge, too.
If you never had FEMA and you're not taking their money, okay? You're not asking government for anything. And your house gets destroyed or was destroyed, and we're talking about 50, 60, 100,000 homes, why are you going to force me to sell my property? Because I certainly can't afford to build it up 10, 15, 12 feet off the ground for your new code. Why are you going to force me to sell my property? Because I can't afford to do that. I want my property back the way it was. And if I'm coming out of pocket to do it, who are you to tell me, Mr. Government, that I can't do that on my own property? I think that's completely arbitrary. I think that could be beat in court. The problem is you're talking about money. I mean, they're not going
to outspend the lobbyists, right?
You got to outspend. Well, you're going to have to outspend the governments because they're going to think it's a great idea. But at the end of the day, I don't think they have the right to tell you what to do with your property, especially if you're not collecting federal dollars for it.
Yeah, my thought was that if the rules are what they are, you should allow at least people the opt-out system. Okay,
but who made the rules?
Myself. Yeah.
That's what you had a question.
Lobbyists that sit in on the writing of the Florida Building Code, and where the lobbyists come from, they're paid by the big corporations or the insurance companies.
In a scenario when you have no insurance, no one's getting wronged.
Frank, it was great to have you here on the show today. That was Frank Miranda with Frank Charles Miranda, PA. And again, if you have a personal injury issue, if you have a real estate transaction issue, if it's something that needs to be litigated, this is the firm you want to call. Frank is a brilliant man. Again, I'm Jason, and I'm filling in for Brandon BRimes here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. There'll be more coming up after the break. We're going to get a call in from Bruce Woodburn at Cross Country Mortgage. And again, we ask you to go out there and consider doing a random act of kindness.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon BRimes, knock out your competition.
Media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this is Jason Avery. I'm back here filling in for Brandon Rhymes today with the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's not feeling well, and we wish him a speeding recovery. Of course, Brandon represents the Platinum MVP Realty team, and all about, on this show, making sure we cut through the mainstream media and give you real advice from real people who are engaged in this community. I have Bruce Woodburn standing by on the phone. He's with Cross Country Mortgage. First, I want to take a moment, though, and feature a couple of these Platinum MVP listings that we have. We've got a hot one at 7720 Maryland, 7720 Maryland Avenue in Hudson, and that's a 2.36 acre vacant lot. The zoning is RMH. It's located just off of US 19. It's a few miles down from downtown Hudson. Disney World's a 69-mile trip. Tampa Airport's only 45 minutes away. World-renowned Clearwater Beach is only 27 miles away. But it's nearby Sunwest Park, an exotic bird sanctuary, and Hudson Beach Park. The cleared lot comes fully equipped with 5 mobile home hookups, a concrete driveway, a utility garage, and an attached apartment. And an awesome commercial listing, income-generating property there. Another listing we have here is 1240 Chelsea Lane in Holiday. And that's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage, 860 square feet. There's no HOA or CDD. It's got a new roof installed in 2022. It's situated on a spacious corner lot. The sliders leading out to a screened-in back patio. There's an open floor plan that flows seamlessly into the kitchen. There's room to park your boat, jet ski, camper, commercial vehicle. It's just minutes away from Gulf beaches and historical Tarpon Springs sponge docks. But you can check out this property and other properties all on consumerqb.com. And let's welcome our guest today. We've got, again, Bruce Woodburn in Cross Country Mortgage. How you doing today, Bruce?
I'm doing fantastic. We go by the Lone Ranger here, and I'm also a talk show host on 102.5 The Bone as well on Saturdays at noon for all your listening audience. I'm sorry to hear Brandon's not feeling well today, and he probably could use a day off. The guy's been working like an animal lately. So, so we got a lot to talk about today. Brandon likes to talk about what's going on in the market, what are the opportunities out there, what are the challenges that we're facing in the real estate market and in our area. So I want to kind of knock it out right here. First of all, we've got a lot of inventory on the market. We've got more inventory on the market than we've had in 10 years. So that is actually a good thing for buyers because it puts them in the driver's seat. Where when we don't have a lot of inventory and it's a seller's market, then we find that sellers are in control and the prices of houses keep going up because there's more buyers than sellers. Right now, it's a balanced market, but it's behaving like a buyer's market. And like my friend Warren Buffett always says, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So this is a buyer sign. Even though buyers are a little bit more reluctant right now to jump in the market because interest rates are a little bit higher than they like. But the fact of the matter is when interest rates drop and get into the 5s again, you're going to see those prices just go through the roof. So right now, affordability is there. You might pay a little higher interest rate, but we always refinance our clients in the future with no lender fees at all. So buyers have control. There's more opportunities. There's more houses to choose from. And since sellers have more competition, they're more willing to cut deals, make repairs, pay for closing costs, pay for rate buy-downs. So this is your signal. If you're a buyer out there, you're a move-up buyer or you're a first-time home buyer, these are the opportunities for you to get in the market right now. So there's your sign.
So are we seeing in buyer's market, and we're talking about Warren Buffett, so now I'm picturing, are there a bunch of investments flocking to town, or are there people coming trying to scoop up our properties here locally that are, flood damaged, the tear downs, the people who aren't going to be able to do it themselves? Are you seeing?
I see that is starting to happen. I'm starting to see desperate people. I talked to a lady yesterday right there just north of Tarpon Springs that lost her condo, and she's just like, she called me and said, look, I just want to get rid of it. Yeah, it needs all new walls. It needs all new cabinetry. It needs new kitchen, needs new floors, but I just want to dump it. I see some people that just don't want to deal with it anymore, and there may be some bargains to be had, some deals to be had. It's unfortunate, but I think that'll go in cycles. You see some snowbirds that were like, oh my God, 2 hurricanes in 1 year, and then one last year and one the year before. So they may be like, I'm done with this, and just move out. The rest of us Floridians, we're like, this is just kind of normal course of business over here. This is what we do. So, I do think there'll be some opportunities, but I also wanted to mention one other thing too. So a lot of buyers that would like to get in the market have struggled because of the economy. Inflation costs them more money. They're spending more money. They can't save as much money because of inflation. So we've come up with some really, really attractive programs to help them. So veterans can get in for no money down. USDA loans are 0 down payment loans. But we came out with an FHA loan. We like the FHA loans because they give you most flexibility on credit. Your debt ratio can be a little bit higher. But even for those that don't have the minimum to put down a 3.5%, we came up with 100% financing FHA loan. So you do the 3.5% down FHA, and we back it up with a second mortgage to cover the difference. And you can use that either toward your closing costs or toward your down payment, either way. So, and you only have to have a 620 credit score to qualify for it. So it's a great program. There's no excuse why people can't get in the market right now. It's just a great opportunity. And you look at the Platinum MVP team, they've got tons of inventory out there, lots of listings to choose from. And any of Brandon's buyer's agents can help you get out there and find a house. Brandon and Lindsay Rhyme can help you list your home and get the most money for it. You need my help. You want to talk to the loan arranger. I've been lending for 35 years. I host 3 radio shows throughout the state of Florida. I'm one of the top producers in the country, and I'm right here in your backyard, and I actually answer phone calls and do loan consultations for people. So if you want my help, I'm here to help you. I'm the loan arranger. You can reach me at 813-213-4009. That's 813-213-4009, or WeBringYouHome.com. So, there's no excuse not to be in the market. And if you want to sell your home, sell your home. There's buyers out there for you, and there's great programs for them to get into. And there's still some down payment assistance programs out there as well.
Yeah, what I'm thinking about in my head, Bruce, as you're talking, is just thinking the adage I was taught about, and you marry the price and you date the rate, and as this is a buyer's market, you can get your best buy on a home. And while I feel some people might be hesitating because of the high interest rates as they've been, and that can be corrected later, that can be refinanced later. I have a very low primary mortgage, but I had to take a very high equity line of credit just to go make things happen as I was buying other commercial property and stuff. But I don't intend on sticking with that rate forever. I will absolutely go blend the rates or get a better one on the HELOC when that time presents itself. But I think some people feel like they're stuck and they shouldn't be.
There's a lot of people that are in that situation that need debt consolidation right now. And as fate would have it, I would bet you 40% of the transactions I'm doing right now are cash out refinances. And they're with people that may have a lower rate than they're going to get today because they got a little in over their head with consumer debt. So I had a client recently. They had a 3% interest rate, $1,500 a month mortgage payment, but they had $5,000 in other debt. Like between the mortgage and everything was $5,000, right? Their mortgage, their car payments, the credit card debt, $5,000. I took that loan, consolidated, wiped out both cars, all credit card debt, and gave them $25,000 for home improvement and saved them $2,500 per month. Now, the wife came back and said, I love the idea. I like saving the money. I just don't want to finance my cars over 30 years. I said, don't. I saved you $2,500. Take $2,000 of that, put it toward your mortgage, and now your mortgage is paid off in 8.3 years. So now you have no mortgage, no cars, no credit card. That's how we want to go into retirement. That's how you want to retire. So consolidation, people let that high interest rate get in their way. It's the payments that'll kill you, not the interest rate. It's not the rate, it's the rate of return.
Yep, cash flow. All about the cash flow. So for those of us that are wondering, and I obviously you don't have a crystal ball, but for the change in our politics in this country, I mean, the moment that Trump takes office, I don't think the rates are going to drop that day. But do you see the better rates coming in the next first quarter? Do we got to wait till second, third quarter? Or are we
that's the $100 million question right now too. Nobody really knows that, and I do not think it's going to happen in the first quarter. And I'll tell you why. It's going to take Trump probably 6 months, maybe even a year, to get all the permits for drilling. We've got to get energy costs down, and we can do that by drilling and fracking, and he's going to do it. He's made a promise that he's going to do it, and I believe it'll happen. But the other thing is we have to get inflation under control. And inflation is the arch enemy of the bond market, and that's what mortgages are tied to. They're not tied to the Fed rate. They're tied to the 30-year and the 10-year bond. So we've got to get the bonds up higher. And right now, every time the Fed drops the Fed rate, bonds get worse instead of better. Our interest rates right now are about 1% higher today than they were the day before the first Fed cut in September. A point higher. And yet we've had a full percentage reduction in the Fed rate. So we went the opposite direction because the Fed dropping the Fed rate fuels the economy, which stimulates the economy, which pours more money into the equities or stock market and pulls the energy out of the bond market, and that's why rates went up. So I don't think the first quarter is going to do it. I think it's going to take him probably 6 months. It could even be a year. It might even be 18 months before we really start seeing a significant drop in rate. I'd like to think within the next 12 months we could get to the mid-fives. That would be a win. I don't think we're going to ever see the fours, at least not for a long time again. I think we'd be good if we could get to 5 1/4. We should be all pretty happy with that.
I tell you, this is why people listen to the Consumer Quarterback Show, because of the expertise that Brandon brings to the table through these show contributors who all come from a variety of different backgrounds with a wealth of knowledge and the things that the typical consumer just isn't exposed to, doesn't understand. And this is powerful, powerful stuff we're getting from Bruce Woodburn today. And he's right. When it comes down to the oil and the fracking and that cost of petroleum, in my remodeling world, how many of the products that I work with every day are petroleum-based products?
Just about everything we use.
And then the shipping to get the products to you from wherever they come from. It's all impacted by that oil price. So this is great stuff. We're going to go into a short break here, and we're going to come back after this message to talk more with Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage. And
you got it.
We'll be back in a moment.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com, and I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show, brought to you by the Platinum MVP Realty team, and also by our sponsor, Brios Tuscan Italian Grill, and located at the International Mall. Great place to eat. The food is amazing there, and we have a monthly get-together for contributors of the show. If you've heard people here that you'd like to meet on this show, you can come on out and Hey, he's not feeling well. I'm Jason Avery. I'm filling in as your host on the Quarterback Show today. I do have a guest on the phone, Bruce Woodburn with Countryside Mortgage, standing by. Let me go ahead and promote a couple of Brandon's other listings here at the moment with the Platinum team. We've got 15577 Little Ranch Road. That's up in Spring Hill. It's a 5-bedroom, 1-bath, 860 square feet. And that is a lot of bedrooms for 860 square feet. And it's got a 5-acre lot. And if you see this lot, the bamboo, the foliage, the trees, it is beautiful. The zoning is AR, features a loft space, 2 large pantries. And outdoors, you're going to find an outside shower and citrus trees. This is really like an indoor-outdoor way of living up there. It is absolutely amazing. It's only 20 minutes from public ramps that grant access to the Gulf of Mexico. It's got a 1-year-old washer and dryer, 2-year-old fridge, hot water heater, gas stove, privacy and peace while staying connected to local. And what an amazing little spot, a little gem to find. One more listing here is 15 Pindo Palm Street. 15 Pindo Palm Street. That's in Largo, Florida. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 1 carport, 1-space carport. It's got 552 square feet in a manufactured home. This is a 55-plus community of Palm Hill, enclosed private patio. All the furnishings are included. Maintenance fees, water, sewer, garbage collection, all that's included. Resort-style amenities includes the golf course, pools, jacuzzis, tennis, pickleball courts, shuffleboard, and bocce ball. So we've got about 5 minutes left here on the show. Bruce Woodburn is our guest contributor today with Cross Country Mortgage. Bruce, what else are you going to tell us about what's going on in the industry today?
Well, we got tax season coming up, my friend. Everybody's favorite time of the year, So it's time to get your taxes together. And if you're self-employed, we all know that you have what we call creative accountants, right? So I get a phone call. First thing I get is, hey, Bruce, I heard you do a great job on mortgages. I want to talk to you, but I'm self-employed. My accountant's really creative, which means I'm writing all my income off so I don't pay the IRS any taxes. Well, banks, mortgage companies, credit unions, they can't touch those people because you're not showing any income on your tax returns. Leave your tax returns at home, stuff them back in the drawer, bring me your last 12 months bank statements. I will add up all the deposits, and I'll give you 50% of that as income. So you got $20,000 a month in deposit, I'll give you $10,000 a month in income. Now you self-employed people can purchase or refinance a home without any headaches. And if you're looking to buy investment properties, I've got specialty programs for investors that want to buy and don't want to provide all their income as well. Other than that, we've got VA, FHA, USDA, jumbo loans, construction perms, renovation loans, HELOCs, reverse mortgages, you name it, we got it right here at Cross Country. #1 lender in the country. You can reach me, the Loan Arranger, at 813-213-4009 or WeBringYouHome.com. So, you know what? It's the beginning of the year. New hope. I think people are feeling a lot better, Jason, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You know, I felt like leading up to the election, I feel that in my world, my conservative base of customers, most of my customers, they have money. But they put it on the sidelines. They didn't want to spend it. They were worried about the direction this country was going. And you could see that coming. And I just kept telling myself, when the election passes, if it goes in the right direction, then then everything will come flying right back. Now, the hurricanes delivered opportunity a little ahead of the election, because I'm in the remodeling world. You know, my construction company is out there putting people's homes back together. But now that the storm surge is dying down and the election is gone, my phones are ringing off the hook. This home show last weekend out at the fairgrounds just blew it out of the water with people who are eager to spend money. They want to build additions onto their homes. They want to, get back into, full engagement. So I think the sentiment is positive. I think the confidence is growing and getting better every day. I absolutely think this is going to be one of the best years for my company yet.
I agree. I think we're all going to do a lot better. But it's really interesting because ultimately nothing really has changed since before the election, before he was nominated, right? Nothing really has changed. But people are feeling better, and that's getting the economy going itself. So just by people feeling positive about their future, they're willing to get out and do more things, buy more homes, renovate their homes, do the repairs that they want to do, buy a new car, those kind of things, and that's what we need. We need money.
People need confidence. People need confidence, and to have confidence, you have to have a leader. And when there's a clear absence of a leader for a long period of time, nobody knows which direction we're going. And if you don't know which direction you're going, how do you ever get there?
You don't do anything. When you don't know what to do, you don't do anything. And money is called currency for a reason. It has to stay. It has to move. It has to keep changing hands in order for it to work. And when money sits in one place and doesn't move, nobody's making any money. So I think this is going to be a big change. Thanks for having me on the show. Can I give out my number and website one
Please
more
do.
time?
Tell them how to get you, Bruce.
813-213-4009 or WeBringYouHome.com. God bless Brandon and Lindsay Rimes and the MVP team. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Bruce.
Have a great one.
And again, I've been your host today. My name is Jason Avery with Avery Construction. If you have a question, concern, anything to do with remodeling, you could visit averyconstruction.com for your answers. I do also have interest in a custom cabinet factory called Designer Cabinets, LLC, which offers wholesale products to the contractors and designers who use custom cabinetry, any wood species, any style, and any color. And my other hat's a coach. I'd like to teach trades guys how to do business. I like to teach entrepreneurs how to build relationships. And ultimately, I do work with attorneys on doing litigation and expert testimony with anything real estate or construction related. I've been a friend of Brandon Rimes for over a decade. He has an amazing team, the Platinum MVP team. You can go check them out and check out their listings at consumerqb.com. Again, you've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to implore you to go out and commit a random act of kindness. Again, I'm Jason. I've been filling in for Brandon, and until next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play.